Folks, it's the Budgy Smugglers. We're back. The Budgy Smugglers. I jumped early. Bradshaw wasn't ready.
I was not ready. I liked it though, keeping me on my toes.
That's it. You know, that's what's happening here. How are we, Stevie B?
I'm good, Dools. How about yourself?
I am well. I am pumped.
You seem pumped.
I'm very pumped. I'm quite tired, but that's okay.
What's been happening? Still no sleep?
Look, it hasn't been too bad. We've had a good. I mean, I've been away. I've been on tour, so it's I had sleep. That's me. But what's been happening? Give us your rundown. What's been happening for the last week?
Back into the stand-up in the last week, which has been fun. Did a bunch of gigs last week, rolling out with new gear, which is always fun.
Give us a rundown. How'd it go?
It's one of those ones, you know, you're on the open mic, so it's very tough to get a gauge on how it's going when bombs are dropping all around you, like you're on the Gaza Strip, which is what the open mic comedy scene can feel like at some stages. But did a few gigs. I thought by the end of the week, some of them were funnier than they were at the start of the week. So I was actually quite excited about that. Always fun rolling out some new gear and figuring out which parts are funny and which parts aren't, and tightening things up, chucking things in, cutting things out. So I like putting together that jigsaw puzzle. So I was pretty happy where everything was at by the end of this week and last week, and happy to, from tonight, go back out and keep making it better.
Great.
That's what I did comedy-wise. And then, just hanging out, doing some things, watching some sport.
Yep.
Doing all that kind of stuff. What about you? How was your trip to New South Wales?
It was good. Was on the road. Did some shows with Jared Goundry and did a few other showcase shows as well. So, Thursday night was in where was I? Thursday night I was at ID Comedy Club with Jared Goundry, and that was great. It was packed, like sold out show. They were a hot audience. Very, very loose audience. A lot of bald dudes.
Was there?
A lot of bald dudes, which is always interesting. And
not hatted up, not beanied up.
No, it looked
just out there bald and proud.
I mean, it looked like there was a whole row of dudes wearing swimming caps. It was a lot. So that was fun. Did a couple of showcase shows as well. Went up to Newcastle Comedy Club, one of the best clubs in the country. It is a lot of fun there. It's always a riot. It's great audiences, good people running it. So that was a lot of fun. And then went back down to Wollongong on Sunday. And that was good. It was sort of like the last one of the run. You know, we'd sort of spent a lot of time on the train getting around. It's a very nice train ride.
How long is that train
coastal ride? It's a long time. It's an exhausting amount of time, but it was good. The audiences were great. One of the people from the comment section today, his friends were in the front row of the Wollongong show, and they copped a rinsing from me, from Jared. They were great value. It was all in good fun. So that was really good, and was able to sort of slide in some new bits in there as well. And
gotta love that.
Just slowly, building new material now. So it's been good. Exhausting,
yes,
but good.
I think when you go on those big long trips, to have a majority, or if not all of them, good gigs, it makes it feel worthwhile.
Well, there's a little bit of because the previous 5 gigs had been absolute fire, blowing the roof off shows. Before the Wollongong show, there was a little bit of like, oh, is this going to be the one? Yeah, where it's like just fine. When everything's been absolutely intense and great, fine, feels like a bomb.
Yeah.
But it was unbelievable. They were a great crowd. A lot of lads, some big units in the room.
In the Gong?
Some big units. People had come up from Nowra. So it was great. It was a great show, great weekend. I went also, before going up on that little quick, New South Wales jaunt, I went to see The Offspring.
Oh, that's right.
Which was good.
You went to see the Simple Plan featuring Offspring.
Yeah. I definitely did not go in for Simple Plan. We went in for their last song, and that's just because we wanted to
Let me
beat
guess.
the rush.
I'm Just a Kid.
What was that one? Can't be perfect. Was that
Oh,
them?
they closed with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Not
They had
into
two
Simple
songs.
Plan.
You're right. That's twice as many songs as I thought they had.
Yeah, a bit whiny. They were a bit like, when I was in sort of year 9, year 10, the year 7s were into Simple Plan.
Year 7 girls. It wasn't really my thing either. They were just too pop, punk, emo.
Yeah.
Teenage girl type stuff.
Wasn't into that. But yeah, it was great. Great
Offspring?
show. Offspring were fantastic. They put on a good show.
Saw a few clips. Looked like it was going off.
It was going off like a frog in a sock. It was fantastic. It's good. Played all the bangers.
That's all you want.
That's all you want.
All you want. Oh, nice. Well, I went to Tom Stanamaris's going away.
Oh, yes.
Comedy get together at Cooper's Inn.
Fantastic. How was that?
Yeah, it was fun. It was like going to an open mic, but the open mic got cancelled. You know, it was just a bunch of comedians.
That's good.
hanging
That's
around.
a win sometimes.
It was a big win, but it was fun. Good to see everyone. Good to hang out outside of a comedy show setting. So a lot
It's
of
weird
turnout.
hanging out with comedians outside of a gig.
Yes.
Because it's like, I actually don't know anything about you, and I don't know if we have anything in common other than being at the gig.
Yes, exactly. Well, you know, it was all just chatting about, you know, things that happen in
Large
Exford.
group chats.
Group chats, pretty much was the theme. And then I got away, and obviously there was about 50 comedians there. 3 of them had partners, and the ones with partners just went off to the pool table and played a bit of pool and that kind of thing. So that was that. But I wanted to chat to you about this, Dools, because on Friday I went to the footy, went to the G for Spud's game, which was great to watch the Saints lose to Carlton, sadly. But I thought this would be interesting to chat to you about, because you, like myself, you've got a beautiful olive complexion to your skin. You've got a pumping beard and mustache, and very good. When you go to the footy or to any event, are you like me, singled out for bomb checks nonstop?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's for me, it's especially depending on, like, at the moment, it's more stubble and mustache, but historically I have a beard, and you can guarantee any large event and any airport, I'm getting checked.
Yeah, I get checked every time. It's become a running joke with me and my mates.
Yeah.
I think we've been to the footy about 3 weeks in a row, or 3 out of the last 4 weeks. I've been bomb checked every time. And then they've got to wait because it's one mate that has all our tickets or whatever, and then they're pointing and laughing. And it happens nonstop. This one was especially egregious because I knew it was going to happen. We went outside for halftime just to get some fresh air. And then when we came back in, I was like, watch this. So I lined myself up in a row of 4. So there was like 3 old guys and then me. And as we walked, this lady that was doing the bomb checks leaped across the 3 guys to drag me in. And then there was a guy like, oh, you want me to come in? She said, not you, sir, not you, sir. No. And then like literally had to cut, like shepherd, like it was a footy move. She was like trying to spear tackle me because she's like, you're the one that's getting bomb checked. So it has become a little bit out of hand. And then my poor mates have to wait for me to get bomb checks every single time. Slows down the flow. People are laughing at me. It's quite embarrassing, but it's totally fine. But I thought you might be like myself, just a regular testy on the old wand and the old bomb checks.
Absolutely.
So,
like I've probably got weird brain issues from all the like scans that have happened for me. It's not good. It's I especially I found Carlton games as well, being when I've been there and watching, you know, whether I've been there working, you know, for a team or just there as a fan going to watch a game where Carlton's involved. That's also where I probably cop the most racial taunting from supporters as well, from Carlton supporters.
Yeah,
worst ones.
They are 100. They were actually okay because I was dreading it. Any Carlton or Collingwood game in particular, they're expecting, but I think because they're so shit and all over the place at the moment, they've kind of pulled their heads in a little bit, the fans. But they're not fun to be around.
Not good at all. All right, we got some comments.
We sure did.
We got some comments. So the politicians, that got a lot of stuff. A lot of people were... were like, I had no idea this is happening, or Anya Mal. There was a lot of stuff, a lot of love for Mel Meninga. But two that really stood out here are the Gavin Semple. David Pocock went from CTE to the Senate.
Which is very true.
Yes. Gavin Semple, of course, having some of his mates in the front row at Wollongong. And one of them, yeah. They were in the firing line for a lot of this show. It was all in great fun. One of them, 28, looked like he'd lived a hard life.
Yeah.
That is for sure. He was on Struggle Street. So hello, if you are watching. Donuts Devitt, the devil made Mel do it. Look behind him when he gets up. And I didn't understand what that meant for a while. And then when you watch it back,
yes,
and maybe I might repost the politicians' top 5 on the Instagram stories, that when you look up at Mel, when he stands up, there's the 666 on the wall behind him. So.
Which was very eerie. So well done, Donuts Devitt, because I was like, what's this Donuts guy talking about? And then I went back, watched the clip, and he was right. Yeah, he stands up and there's a 666 behind him.
Yep. I got someone sliding in and then cowardly deleted.
No, not another deleter, was it?
Which, I don't know if it's because we made such a big fuss about it that people were having a bit of a laugh there and a bit of fun with it. But basically ripping through me for not knowing golf.
Oh, yes.
So I couldn't see who the name was from. I managed to I read it and then just sort of it's gone straight away. But it was basically along the lines of, Dooley, you should stop talking about things you know nothing about. And I don't think you understand this podcast.
That's pretty much what the whole podcast is about, alluding to our discussions about albatrosses in that clip, which I had to cut down. There's about 5 minutes more. If you haven't listened to last week's episode and you know the clip we're talking about, that goes on a lot longer than the little 1 minute clip we posted on social media. But we'll be talking about golf. Probably I actively now look for golf news. So we've got a little bit coming up as well. But yes, lots of comments in the section. So thank you for everyone who commented it. Leave a comment. We'll shout you out. Lots of people sliding into the DMs as well. Feel free to leave a comment in the video. It does help with views and stuff. So we appreciate everyone that reaches out. Absolutely love it.
Absolutely. Bit of a burp then.
Yeah.
That coffee came up. All right, lots been happening in sport.
Lots been happening. What about this,
It's
Dools?
been huge.
This one, we're just kicking off with the big news. Willie Rioli sliding into the DMs of another footballer's account for the Western Bulldogs. Willie Rioli, of course, plays for the Port Adelaide Power with a threatening message towards a Bulldogs player, plus a litany of other things. But I don't know. I just wanted to start. Have you ever slid into a DM with a threat about anything ever, Dools?
No.
Neither have I.
No.
I'm not a big
I can't say I have, but little Willie Rioli. I feel like if your name's Willie, your nickname, it's either going to be big or little beforehand.
Yeah.
But sliding in, I wonder. Yeah, because it's popped up quite a bit in the media of quite a few players across different clubs. I reckon probably what he said was, which one of you is Bailey? To Bailey Dale. Are you the Bailey?
Oh, so many. But interesting, I think the threat was, you better not leave the hotel room in Darwin, mate, is what he said, which is a bit scary. I don't know.
I wonder, do you reckon they're staying at the Cav in Darwin?
I hope so. Where else would they stay?
Steak night at the Cav.
Steak night at the Cav. What else? They've got that beautiful pool. They've got pokies. They've got beer specials. If you're in Darwin, even if you do play for the Bulldogs and you haven't booked accommodation yet, highly recommend the Cav.
Stay at the Cav.
Live music every night, I think.
Every night. It doesn't get annoying when you're trying to sleep at all.
Not at all. It's a great place to get rested before a big game up in Darwin. So
full of characters.
I loved it. But that's
Our boy,
yes.
Ben Simmons, Box Hill. The big rumour is he's going to Boston if he doesn't re-sign with the Clippers.
What do you think about that for a fit?
I don't think Ben Simmons needs to figure out what he wants to do and what he wants to be. Does he want to be Ben Simmons of old, or is he just happy riding the pine? I think he's got the ability still there, but it's all between the ears. And look, playing at the Clippers, he's alongside some big dogs there. but then he goes to Boston. He's alongside probably more big dogs.
More big dogs.
But maybe less pressure on him to score, and he can just distribute and defend and do what he does well there. Because, like the Clippers have got Harden and Kawhi.
They like the ball.
And then it kind of falls off, whereas Boston, they've got Tatum, they've got Jaylen Brown, they've got Derek White. Peyton Pritchard is a three-point machine, the unicorn. So it'll allow him to just pass the ball and do what he does well. Maybe it might work.
I think it might work. I think, obviously, on the defensive end, he's still sort of Box Hill Benny of old. He still holds himself up, but I think a 4-out lineup with maybe a Brown, Tatum, Porzingis, and Pritchard or White, you can let him cook a little bit with the ball in hand and distribute, and give him a little bit of access down the laneway as well. I think it might work. I think it's a good fit.
Yep.
And it's obviously going to be a veterans min. So
he's made his money.
Yeah, he has made his money. But yes, I think it's a good fit.
I would love to see, speaking of Boston, I'd love to see Derek White grow his hair back out because he had one of the best receding hairlines in the NBA. It was fantastic.
What made it such a good receder, because we've seen many people maybe go really short to cover up, but he went the other way. He went up.
Yeah, let it go. Yeah, Alex Caruso as well, also a great balding player. Just grow it back out. Let us see what you're working with. Go the Phil Smythe.
I like the way, and both of them do it. They've worn the headband as well to try and cover you.
LeBron as well. You're not fooling anyone. We see what you're doing.
What did LeBron do? Did he go to Croatia or something?
I think he just snuck into Turkey for a bit because he was struggling, and then all of a sudden, his hair's back. How has this happened? The best though, did you ever see Carlos Boozer when he was at Chicago Bulls? He had paint on his head.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that
iconic.
Was bad. That was bad.
We'll clip that up. We'll show. That's iconic.
Yeah, that could be a top 5 worst hairlines in NBA history. Yeah.
All right, the opals. I tell you what a gemstone that is. The opal. If I don't know if that's what it is. Beat the tall ferns.
Isn't an opal? Don't you get that out of a pearl?
I don't know.
Wait, no, that's a pearl.
That's the pearl. Yeah. Out of a oyster.
We're not doing a gemstones podcast anytime soon.
No, they defeated the tall ferns.
Where do you get an opal from? Is it
Swanston
Earth?
Street? I think. I think there's a lot of places on Swanston Street in Melbourne CBD.
Okay,
the home of the opals.
There you go.
Yeah, I think it's just the opal stores and cafes and late night pizza slices on Swanston Street.
Do love that.
They beat the Tall Ferns and swept them 3-0 in the series after early victories in Australia. What do you think of that?
Well, for clarity for the listeners, the Opals are the Australian women's basketball team and the Tall Ferns are the New Zealand women's basketball team. Is there a worse team name than Tall Ferns?
Not a great name. You not think, but then the Kiwis have historically not good names for their teams. They're called the Kiwis. It's a flightless bird. That's not it's not intimidating anyone there. The Tall Ferns, it's like a rainforest tree, I think.
Yeah. Because obviously stems from, pardon the pun, stems from the Tall Blacks.
Yeah.
Which sort of makes sense if you know the history. Otherwise it sounds quite inappropriate, but obviously the All Blacks.
Yep.
Kiwis being funny.
Yep.
Happy to take the piss out of themselves. Tall Blacks added a T to the All Blacks. Great. And then they've just gone, Tall Ferns.
Yep. I think one of their teams is called the Silver Ferns. Maybe. I could be making it up.
The Silver Fern is like their national, it's on their flag.
Maybe that's
on their
passport. What's their soccer team
in the world
called?
Have a look while you look that up. But yeah, I think the Opals beaten the Tall Ferns 3-0 in the sweep. The Tall Ferns never stood a chance, really. It's like rock, opals, paper, ferns, rock. Well, paper beats rock, but whatever. Anyway, the New Zealand women's soccer team.
Or just the soccer team. I don't know if it's the men's or the women's.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The All Whites. Whoa. Surely that's...
The All Whites?
Yeah.
The New Zealand soccer team's name is the All Whites.
All Whites. So that's the men's one, and it's worse for the women's. Football Ferns.
Oh, the Football Ferns. Oh, these are they can do better. Can you think of any alternative names? What about the men's basketball team could be called the Flight of the Conchords?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah. Or the Jumping Sheep.
The Jumping Sheep. We could do Jumping Sheep.
That's a good one. Yeah.
if Steven Adams ever played for Golden State and he came back for them, they could call the team Once Were Warriors.
Oh, that was great. Yeah.
You see what I did there?
Yeah.
That's literally, I think that's about it. Once Were Warriors and Flight of the Conchords are the only two things New Zealand have done with any cultural significance.
Scribe?
She had. Scribe,
yeah.
Not many?
No, if any. She had. Yeah, John Toogood. What a great rock star name that is.
Yeah, it's too good of a
nickname. Shortland Street.
What's that?
Shortland Street was like New Zealand's version of Neighbours.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, they could be called the Shortland Streets.
Shortland Streets. I don't think there's anything else. I don't know.
The Jacindas.
Yeah, the Jacindas, I don't mind. We'll come back on that. But the All Blacks is a good one.
That's
I like
a good
that one. That
yeah.
feels like...
Well, it matches what they're wearing, even though the players aren't all black, but it matches what they're wearing. I don't know if the all whites just...
that doesn't sit well with me.
Ugh.
Anyway.
All right, moving on. Gibbo, Sally Fitzgibbons, iconic surfer. He's kind of back on the comeback trail as well as with Gilmore, or maybe Sally Fitzgibbons never left. I don't know.
She never left. She never left. But she's been chasing a first tour win in 4 years. So
yeah, wow. Lost the Gold Coast Pro Women's Final to, great name here, Betty Lou Sakura Johnson. That's a name that really changes every single word that pops up there, isn't it?
Betty Lou Sakura Johnson, which is, I like the name. I watched this duels and it was a bit of a shame Sally couldn't get up. Good for Betty Lou. It was her first win. Young Hawaiian coming out all the way to the Gold Coast and beating Sally on a home turf. So well done to Sally to get back up there though.
Julian Wilson lost the men's final to another Brazilian, Felipe Toledo, and Julian Wilson was giving it plenty to everyone throughout then just flipping the birds, like running his mouth.
I absolutely loved it. Came up through the Challenger qualifying series, so wasn't even slated for the event. Wins that, and then just kept that form going all the way through. A pretty epic final. Felipe just kicked off with a couple of big waves very early on. So Julian was on the back foot. He was pretty upset with some of the scores he was getting, but landing big airs, catching barrels. It was a really, really fun final that I got to watch on Friday. So good on Julian Wilson, I thought, to come sort of from nowhere, not even booked, wins his place and then rides it all the way to the finals. So,
angrily.
Very angrily, but Felipe Toledo he caught some monster waves in that final as well.
He's a great name.
I put this in just for you.
Yeah, Elvis Smylie.
Yes,
earns the US PGA Championship spot after late exemption granted. I don't know what any of that means, but Elvis Smylie, that is a great name. That's top 5 Aussie sporting names.
Right.
Is he Australian?
Down.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's an Aussie. He's an Aussie, so he's a young Aussie. He's been kicking butt on the Asian Tour series and comes in and snagged the spot for the US PGA Championship that majors on, I think, this weekend. But yeah, a very young, up-and-coming 23-year-old that's starting to take Australian golf by storm, and he looks like our next big name in golf. And what a name, Elvis Smylie.
What a name. There's probably
all shook up.
The second Australian athlete called Elvis.
Elvis Sinisek?
Yeah, Elvis Sinisek. Yeah. He had a good nickname. It was like the Angry Hippo or something like that.
One of those early, and you'd be more FA than I, but I remember he was the first Aussie in the UFC, and I remember it being a big deal. I used to get all those UFC DVDs from Video Easy, showing my age.
King of Rock and Rumble.
King of Rock and Rumble, which was a sick nickname. A Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu
black belt. One of the first in Australia to get that as well.
And he had a bit of swagger about him, but I think UFC came along a little bit too late in life for him to sort of. He never really was at his peak, was he? He was just kind of coming down.
Yeah.
But it was awesome to have an Aussie, the first Aussie ever in the UFC. I thought I was a big Elvis Sinisek fan.
Oof.
This one, Dools, someone you're a big fan of. Ange Postecoglou's Tottenham Hotspurs are through to the Europa League final against Manchester United. A big turnaround for our man Ange and those scumbag Spurs supporters. What were your thoughts on this?
Look, so Ange will win. The Spurs will win because Ange always wins a trophy in his second season.
Okay.
Always. Bank on it. they're going to win. They showed that in Europe, they can play different styles. They're starting to get some of their players back, but clearly their focus is on winning this. Like the league, they're not going to make Champions League or anything like that. They're not going to make a European spot based on their EPL position. So they have to win for a chance at Europe next season, and I reckon they are a good chance. They've shown a lot of tactical sort of flexibility there. Players are starting to, return and starting to get back into form a little bit, and they still love Ange, the players. You saw there's a little bit of a snippet of after the game, and the players were so up and about for Postecoglou, and I think they take it over Manchester United, who is only one spot higher than them on the EPL ladder.
There you go. What's the narrative been around? I know a few weeks ago we spoke about it, and there was chance for him to get fired.
There is a rumour going around that even if they win, he's out.
Really?
Yeah.
Even if he wins, is the Europa League final a big deal?
It's a big deal. Yeah, it's a big deal. Like it's still a big European competition. There's still a lot of prestige. It's not Champions League, but it's just a level below. And, Champions League, to get a spot, it's very, very difficult to get a spot in the Champions League. So it's, the Europa League probably has a wider pool and there's a bit more variety in there. So it's very, very different. It's very, very prestigious, and you're playing against teams in very different countries and conditions. So I think in the last game they were playing on a synthetic turf, and it was freezing conditions, which you're probably not going to get in Champions League.
Interesting. And a hot chance, you reckon?
Yeah.
All right.
Bank on it.
That. Tell you who was a hot chance on the weekend. Justin Herbert.
2 first names.
Cruises to a 5-shot win in the $3 million International Series Japan. I know you're a big Justin Herbert fan. Can you tell the Smugglers a little bit about him?
I don't even know what sport this is. Justin Herbert, I think he's probably from, regional New South Wales, I reckon, from Broken Hill. And he, was inspired to live a life to the beat of his own drum after he watched Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. And for him, it was the sport that he chose.
Justin Herbert, the Victorian golfer, did very well. He, of course, switched over to live golf a few seasons ago. Saw him drop from 40th in the world. He's down to like 300 and something because you don't get the rankings, but this will push him up and gives him a better chance of hitting those majors later this year. This was a big one, Dools.
It was.
The Australian 4x400 mixed relay team have made history, taking home Australia's second ever silver medal at the World Athletics Relay Championships in China this weekend.
What a moment. Does mixed relay mean that it was like mixed genders, or does it mean they were doing mixed events in that 4x400 meters? So like some were like doing hurdles, some were doing the thing where they jump into the water, like
steeplechasing.
Yeah.
So it's 4 different 400s.
4 different things, but you're doing it for 400 meters.
Yeah, I think that could be it.
That would be awesome.
It would be tough to set up the hurdles after a run or the
very
steeples,
quick.
But the Chinese are very innovative and they made it happen. So, no, it was mixed gender. 2 boys, 2 girls. Nailed it. And they got a silver medal. I don't know what's going on. I don't know how legit these events are. But we seem to be jagging medals left, right, and centre at these events that we didn't know existed until we started doing the Budgy Smugglers. Really.
Yeah, exactly. I had no idea that existed. You know who I do know exists is our boy, the king of Clifton Hill, Johnny Furphy. Oh, he's seen some playoff minutes.
Oh, is he ever?
And he got 10 minutes.
10 of them.
10.
In a row or 2 separate stints?
I'm not sure, but it was 1 rebound, 1 assist, and a negative plus minus on the court. I think it was like minus 15.
Yeah.
So look, he wasn't there for the win, and he was there when the Cavs started to get some points up on the scoreboard. But good to see him getting some court time in the playoffs.
We do have a smuggler. Shout out to Bruno, who's constantly sliding into our DMs about Johnny Furphy. So I thought it'd be good to give little Johnny Furphy. He's the only Aussie left playing. Obviously, we've still got Joe Ingles in there for Minnesota, who are looking mighty fine. But yes, Johnny Furphy's getting minutes, getting some junk time minutes.
Why is that Bruno guy? Is he like a Pacers fan or is he mates with Johnny Furphy?
Big Pacers fan.
Right, that's
big Pacers fan.
you go.
Big Reggie Miller fan, and followed the Pacers his whole life. So he's very excited, and he wants more Johnny Furphy on the pod.
Yep.
And I just, I've been saying so we just need him to do something, and he did. He did 10 minutes. He got a rebound and an assist. So pretty good. If he played 40 minutes, if he played the full game, he would have had 4 rebounds and 4 assists, and then we're kind of into it. But obviously, a young rookie getting any time. For a team that bats as deep as the Pacers, maybe the deepest list in the playoffs still.
They're doing well.
So.
The Pacers they're doing well over the Cavs because the Cavs are a hot team. A lot of injuries, though. A lot of injuries.
Mobley's out. Garland struggling. Old mate Donovan Mitchell, he got injured in the last game. So for what was a huge season for them, they're going to crash out in the second round, it looks like.
It's all not about how you
Johnny
start.
Furphy's Indiana Pacers.
It's how you finish.
All right.
Speaking of hotbeds of rugby league, Western Australia is going to get a new NRL team with a $65 million in state funding committing to the move. I don't know about you, but when I think rugby league, I think Perth. That's the first thing that pops into my mind is like, you know what? I think they need a team.
It's a great subject for the Budgy Smugglers, combining two things we couldn't care about less, rugby and Western Australia. But good on them, I reckon. What do you think the chances are of that team getting up? Because I'm sure when Melbourne Storm joined the competition in the late 90s, early thousands, no one in their right mind thought it was going to work, right?
No, and to be fair, a lot of people in Melbourne don't really care about Melbourne Storm.
But I do. I go at least once a year to watch a game. As you know, I was a Melbourne MJRL squad member for the Rugby League under 16s. Travelled around New South Wales, beat the West Tigers, whatever. But
unlucky not to be in the NRL yourself.
Pretty much, just drugs and women duels that got me in the end. I could have been the Len Bias of rugby league.
Oh, huge. Great reference there. Great reference. Former number 1 draft pick, Len Bias. Look, I think there's a lot of South Africans in Western Australia. Yeah, apparently, when things politically changed in South Africa, a lot of them found amnesty in Perth, and
that checks out.
Yeah, it's not racist at all over in WA.
But yeah, I think that's pretty good.
What are they going to call them? Do they have a name
yet? It's the Western Force.
Oh,
I don't mind it.
Haven't they already had a Western Force?
Yeah, and it failed miserably.
So they're bringing it back.
Yeah, so Western Force is an Australian
force this team down our throats.
Yeah. Oh, no, I think that's the Rugby Union.
Oh, yeah, because they're not the same sport.
Okay. Well, I don't know. What do you think they should call them? The Afrikaans?
Yeah, probably. The Springboks.
The Springbok. The Western Australian Springbok.
The West Australian Cape Towns.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, good luck to them. They'll be up and running. Hopefully they don't crash and burn like the last one. Speaking about crashing and burning, Dools. Oh.
Tell us about your boy.
Oh, he's not doing great. Our boy, Jack Doohan, last week got the arse from the Alpine team. They've called it a driver swap, not a driver sacking. So they're going to try out a different driver for the next 5 races. But it was an absolute shit show. That team is absolute shambles. The day after they announced that Jack Doohan was getting the arse, their team principal quit, which team principal in F1's basically like a coach, I guess, head of the team.
That's their Ross Lyon.
Yeah, that's their Ross Lyon. He quit. The guy that's taken over was at one time banned for life for F1 for cheating. Flavatore Brigatane. I don't know his name, but some dodgy Italian man. But yes, our boy Jack Doohan, after only 6 races, where to be honest, he didn't perform great, but he didn't perform terrible. He was within striking range of his teammate Pierre Gasly. He is in a shit car. The car's not doing any good. It's not scoring points. There's not much he could have done. But he did have a bit of a blow up at his team last weekend at the race. So it's been on the cards. We've been talking about it since race 1 of the season. But a bit sad to see 50% of our Australian F1 drivers get the arse in the last week. So he's not doing good.
Is he like young enough to like drop back and then come back? Or is it in F1, it's like once you've had your chance and you kind of don't make it, even if you do everything in the lower levels, like you're out?
Yeah, so he is young enough. I think he's only 22, 23 max. He's young enough. He's got the talent. He's had success at lower levels. I do think his name, and that's what F1's all about. It's who you know and who's funding you and stuff. His name has helped him maybe jump the queue a little bit, which is fair enough. Nepotism is alive and well. One of the car drivers, his dad bought a team just so he could have a race, Lance Stroll. But the thing is, it's not like footy where you can go down in the VFL and just ply your trade. Like once you're in an F1 seat, you don't really go back down to F2 or F3 or anything like that. So he's just got to kind of sit around and hope that an opportunity comes up. But pretty much if you get one shot and you don't go great, you don't get another shot, sadly, which is why I was ashamed to see him not at least get to the mid-season break and really get a chance to show what he can do.
Not good. Maybe he needs to follow his old man and get on the motorbikes.
Maybe. I think that would be quite the big change.
Probably. I mean, it's half the wheels.
Yeah.
That's a big change.
It would be very difficult. But why not? Why not? I like the way you think.
All right, so I'm going to call this right now Aussie of the week.
You reckon?
Jack Della Maddalena. What a win.
What a win.
Old three-name Jack coming through there. Giacomo. What a fight. Did you watch the fight?
Watched the fight live, loud and proud at a sports bar in the city with some friends. I was going off. My partner was with me. She was asking me to politely, could you please calm down? And I said, no. I'm not going to calm down.
Broken up.
So I dumped her. But I was going off. I was jumping on chairs. Just a really pretty complete fight against someone that you would think had his measure, that was a bit arrogant about the way he went about it, I think. I don't know. What were your fight thoughts?
Yeah, look, I thought JDM had a fantastic fight. His game plan was very, very obvious, I thought, especially in those first 3 rounds when he was a lot fresher. Came out in the fourth, and it's like, oh, you could see like a noticeable drop in just sort of how he was throwing his punches. They didn't have that crispness there, but he was constantly on the move and constantly circling, and it's hard to grab and to hit a moving target, and Bilal was struggling. I think in that fourth round, he was able to pin Jack against the cage a little bit more and dirty box and work for takedowns. I was a little bit concerned late in the fight. I think it was the 5th round when there was a takedown. It was a scramble, and it looked like Jack kind of relented, and sort of gave up a little bit and went to his back. That's not a good sign.
That was a scary moment. That's a very scary moment.
But his grappling was good enough to be able to totally neutralize Bilal Muhammad, which everyone thought Bilal Muhammad's grappling was going to be very superior, and not only neutralize it, but get back to standing, which is very, very difficult to do. And his hands were fantastic. He was stringing 3-punch combos. His jab was really good, and he was coming with those forward elbows, which are a real, that's not an easy, so that's a high level technique, to do that properly. So he looked great. It was much deserved, and I thought it was quite a convincing win.
Yes, I thought it was. I wasn't convinced at the end though, because we've seen fights like that go the wrong way with judges and whatnot. But as soon as they gave him that sort of, what was it, 49, 40, whatever, 49, 46, I was like, that's Jack. He's done it. And then that buffer just did he did that it felt like he did it for 5 minutes. Is it new? Was it old? But I thought it was new. But you're right, his footwork, his head movement, and he just looked the better person on their feet. I thought he was just popping him every time. Huge 5th round, could have gone either way, I think. But just loved it. I was pumped. I was even more pumped for the Volks, because I just think I didn't think he was going to win. Yeah. That's why.
Look, and I thought it was probably a fight or two too soon for Jack to be fighting for the belt. He's only the 5th ranked contender. And then he's blitzed him. So it'd be interesting to see what happens next. There's a lot of talk about, people coming back. There's a lot of talk about rematches and stuff like that. So either way, it's going to be very interesting. I think he's good mentally, I think, Jack, and he game plans well, and has shown that he can sort of survive the deep waters against high-level grapplers and powerful strikers, and can think his way through things. And it was a Very, very good performance. Very impressive.
Very impressive. Very cool under pressure, JDM wasn't it? Very smooth.
And, I watched it in the hotel room before the show and, with Jared Gandry was watching and his feedback was that guy looks like he's been punched quite a few times. And that was about Jack Della Maddalena because his face it's flat. Maybe
one of the worst profiles in anything in the world.
It's he's kind of got that Paul Gallen sort of face.
But what I love about him is he doesn't care. Like a lot of guys would go out, get a nose job or something like that. He's like, I've been
wait
punching.
till after your career.
Exactly. Fix it up later. Loved it. Very happy. I was very excited on Sunday and barracked with Thever.
Yep.
Oh, talk about this. Just say this too. Are you ready for it?
It's the random Josh Giddey stat of the week.
This was huge.
Massive moment. Historical moment.
Historical moment. Josh Giddey, here's the stat, 20 points. 20 points is what Josh Giddey scored at the Frankston Monday Night League last week.
What a moment.
Absolutely wild. Have you ever seen anything like this in your time at anything?
No, I haven't. When was the last time an NBA player played in Frankston Stadium? I'll tell you, Monday night when it was Josh Giddey. Before that, never.
How hype were the boys on the other team, though?
You'd be devo if you're just warming up and then Josh Giddey, the GOAT, rocks up. Like, we've already established he's one of the all-time greats in NBA history. And he rocks up, to play for the other team, starts warming up. You'd just be... I've played Monday night basketball on a rec league, and it's not good.
It's not fun.
If you've got a little bit of skill, you're generally the best player.
Yeah.
And you're coming up against the GOAT, the greatest hair in NBA history, one of the all-time greats in NBA history, at a stadium in a dodgy part of Frankston as well. It's near Cannanook Station. It's sketchy. I've played there before. I've been ejected there before. It's not a fun place to be. And Josh Giddey rocks up with his swag, with his hair, and just takes the absolute piss. What a legend.
What a legend. They lost, though.
Yeah, they did. But it's not about wins and losses. No. It's not about did you have fun. It's about Josh Giddey absolute flat out balling, and he did that. What a legend.
Loved it. Absolutely loved to see it. I don't know. It was just awesome.
Andrew Gaze wouldn't even do that.
No way.
No. Gray Mamba wouldn't do that.
Not once. All right, here we go, Dools. Got a big question for you.
Yep.
So the North versus Brisbane draw. It's re-sparked the debate. Should we see extra time for draws during the AFL regular season?
No.
I concur. You make the case for it?
For extra time.
Yeah.
Because it means that then they can make more money out of it and change for the sake of change, because that's what we do at the AFL, and it'll give us more money from TV rights and the game going for a little bit longer, and then we can not do anything with that money for the general fan.
Amazing. Here's the point against it. It's dumb. Leave it as is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I think we've got to keep the traditional aspects of it. I think that's unique to our game to a certain extent. I mean, it's the same in many sports, soccer and whatnot, but I don't want to see it change just for the sake of change. I like a draw. You've got 3 hours to win the game. That's plenty of time.
It's a long game. If you can't win it within that, you don't deserve it.
I would even get rid of the overtime in finals. Well, I guess it doesn't work for other finals, but for the grand final, I remember that. To get 2 grand final week's one of my favourite weeks of the year, regardless of who's playing, but to get it twice in a row was awesome.
Yeah, have the replay. AFL loves to tinker with things and make things like, or they're like, oh, what do they do in America? Let's do that. Just leave it as it is. The people don't care. You've got your media sort of plants like creating this, oh, people don't want this, and they're cherry picking the odd thing from Twitter. No, people don't care. People just want things left alone. Let the game do the talking. AFL, stop tinkering with things. We hate it.
I concur.
We hate it. All right, now, we got some big stuff here.
Okay. I'm excited for this.
You might be aware that former Australian Test cricketer Stuart McGill, was spared some jail time over a big drug bust, and he was found, like he was doing some dodgies. They found him sort of bundled into the boot of a car. McGill a gorilla, like maybe life after cricket not so great. So this week, the top 5 is the top 5 test spinners who it would be random to see in the boot of a car.
Okay. I've got some names popping into my head. I cannot. We are, oh my goodness. We haven't spoken about Ashton Agar.
No. So, okay. I don't know if a boot could fit Ashton Agar in there because he's got too much cricket bat between his legs.
I wouldn't want Ashton Agar stuffed in my boot. I tell you that, Dools.
All right. Coming in at number 5, he played 9 tests for England. Left arm orthodox. Monty Panesar.
That would be random to see Monty Panesar.
Like, Monty, what are you doing, bro? You know what I mean?
Monty Panesar stuffed my boot. Oh, yeah. I didn't like Monty Panesar.
All right, a long career for New Zealand.
Okay. Oh, yes.
The geek, because he wore glasses, Daniel Vettori.
I imagine seeing Daniel Vettori stuffed in your boot.
He's a big man too. He's like 6'4", I think. He's a big man, with his left arm orthodox as well. So, that's a thing. All right.
How many... Test anything. How many cricketers wore glasses? Because he was pretty iconic for the glasses. I remember.
Yeah, I don't think many. All right,
we'll get those stats. Our producer will look that up another time.
Okay, playing 2 tests for Australia in 2011. Notable highlights selected for the Ashes with limited impact. Yeah, of course, I'm talking about Michael Beer.
Michael Beer. I do remember Michael Beer. He was a good state league cricketer.
Yeah. Great state league. Would have gone off in the Mercantile Mutual Cup.
Yeah. Mickey Beers. Great name. Another great name.
Yep. Okay. And now we've got out of India, right arm off break, a long career coming in at number 2 of the most random cricketers to find in a boot. Harbhajan Singh.
Oh, I'd love to see him stuffed in a boot.
He would. Oh. Yeah, he would. I feel like he'd thrive.
Yeah,
he'd open up. You'd be like, "Oh, Harvey, what are you doing here?" He's like, "You just shut the lid, mate." Like,
I'm fine.
That's what he would be saying there.
And he was he was a very good bowler. And
great bowler.
Anytime Australia had to go over to the subcontinent, he would just be flipping spinners everywhere. It was tough.
Yep. Now, look, number 1 was tough. I wanted to throw in...
If it's not my guy, I'm going to be pissed.
No, I wanted to throw in players like, Saqlain Mushtaq from Pakistan. I wanted to throw in Graham Swan.
Swanee.
Yep, from England. There was Jadeja. Nathan Lyon could have been in there as well, which would be weird. But I've gone with...
Must be my guy. You haven't named him yet.
From Sri Lanka.
Oh, no.
Matthias Muralitharan.
Oh,
Murali.
Would you be that surprised if you saw him stuffed into a boot?
He does some things in there. He does some things.
You chuck the chucker in the boot, I say.
Yep, that could have been a thing. Cameron White also unlucky to miss out.
I can't believe Stuart Funky McGill didn't get a mention.
Yep, no. Oh, you mean Miller?
No, Miller. Colin Funky Miller, sorry.
Well, because he also bowled medium paces. And that, I've gone the specialist. Like Michael Bevan, he bowled left arm Chinaman. That didn't get him in there.
Can you still call it Chinaman?
I think they call it left arm unorthodox.
Okay.
So, Bryce McGain could have got in there. A lot of players in there. Rashid Khan, of course, from Afghanistan. There was a lot in there, but that was my list.
It's your list. There's no wrong answers in the list except for not having Colin Funky Miller because he started off medium but moved to the off spinners and you'd be surprised if you saw Colin Funky Miller in your boot.
Yeah,
but it was a great list, Dills. Great.
Thank you. There was also Paddy Simcox from South Africa.
Paddy Simcox.
I think that was his name.
How many tests did he play?
Simcox from, I'm not sure.
Why you look that up?
Pat Simcox. He was a South African. He was famous for instead of spitting on the ball and rubbing it in his crotch, he'd rub it in his armpit and then shine it off. So that was his thing.
Again, what a list. Top 5 spinners.
Yeah, very
that you'd be
ultra
surprised
specific.
to see in a boot, which was very, very good stuff. Very sharp.
Thank you.
Very sharp.
Thank you.
You got an Aussie legend?
It's Jack Della Maddalena. Like, it's a mic drop there. Like, what an icon. You know, he's won the belts there, and he hasn't lost for a long time. He lost his first 2 fights, hasn't lost since.
I was interested in that because I was just he must have lost his because he was on a 17-fight win streak. Any idea what happened in those first 2?
I think it was just maybe a bit sort of, out of his depth, and you're starting, back then where the amateur for sort of fight world wasn't as prominent. So he probably went in there when the only options may have been pro fights, but a lot of people, they will do one fight and then that's it.
Yep.
So for him to lose twice and then be like, all right, I'm on here.
Yep.
And then he is on.com.
Aussie legend Jack Della Maddalena. You want to, should we do the power rankings, Dools?
Yep, let's do it.
You got
Hit me.
else?
No, hit me with it. What do we got here?
All right, so the Aussie athlete power rankings at number 10, I've gone with Johnny Furphy in the NBA. That huge game, 10 minutes, 1 rebound, 1 assist with more playing time. Could he have got another rebound? Who knows? We'll never know. We will never know ever. So number 10, I got Johnny Furphy, the last Aussie standing in the NBA. At number 9, to put a smile on your face, he's got you all shook up. It's Elvis Smylie.
Yes.
He's come, I don't know what. The 7th Aussie in the PGA Championships, Elvis Smylie. He's flying for bullet. At number 8, he was number 1 last week. I couldn't drop him out of the 10 completely, but he can't really do much now. His season's over. But Dyson Daniels in number 8.
When has that stopped you from making an athlete high in the top 10, them not doing anything recently?
That's true. Well, we'll wait till
You've
we
got
get
a bias against Dyson Daniels,
Honestly, I had him out of the top 10 until I opened up the spreadsheet and realised that I had forgot to put someone in number 8. So he's made his way back in, but I don't know. Like he hasn't done much in a few weeks. He hasn't won a championship. He hasn't done anything. But anyway, in number 7, this one's a weird one, but she's our favourite. It's Guacamole Picklam.
Yes.
Another solid performance.
Yep.
She's been solid, not quite spectacular. She got a 5th place during the Gold Coast Pro, but she's the only Aussie in the top 3.
Just chipping
male
away.
Or female, just sticking around, making finals, winning heats. So I'm very big fan of what Molly's consistency has been like. So she's a number 7th. Number 6, huge change. We've got 1 out, 1 in, same sport, all the way up to number 6. She's had a ripper month or 2. I've gone at number 6. It's Timeless Tony Storm.
Okay.
From AEW.
Of course.
Rhea Ripley is out. Tony Storm is in as the best wrestler, Australian wrestler on the planet at the moment. She's the AEW champion. Her promos are fantastic. She's hilarious. She's original. And Rhea has not been doing much other than promoting an event in October in Perth.
There you go.
So
Tony Storm.
Timeless Tony Storm.
What's Tony Storm's finisher?
It seems like a personal question.
Yeah.
At number 5, from the Western Bulldogs, I've still got Bailey Smith. Formerly of the Western Bulldogs from the Geelong Cats, it's Bailey Smith.
Which Bailey?
If you know, you know. But I got Bailey Smith. He had another ripper game in a loss. But
Did he give anyone the bird? Did he show
probably
his doodle or something?
Oh, Jesus Christ. No, I hope not. At number 4, Monster Week. From 0 to hero, almost. I went with Julian Wilson for his performance at the Gold Coast Pro.
J-Dub, as they call him.
J-Dub, Challenger Series, and worked his way all the way to a final out of nowhere, which I thought was great. At number 3, he is MMA champion. Alexander Volkanovski at number 3. Still staying in the top 3. If you're a world champ, you're in the top 3, I think.
What if there's too many world champs, more than 3? Could happen.
Could happen.
Guacamole's doing well up there.
Oh yeah, if Guacamole just needs to win one thing. So they got Margaret River coming up. Hopefully she jags her first win of the year there and she can work her way all the way up. But I don't know. Alexander, he's doing good. He's in the media. He's on social media. He's the champ. So I just think in terms of the power rankings of Aussie athletes, you can't have Alexander not in the top 3. But at number 2, he's the only Aussie left standing in F1. It is Oscar Piastri.
Yep.
On fire, number 1 ranked. We've been through it enough. We've got another race coming up this weekend. I'm excited for it. Number 1, pretty easy one this week. Was always going to be after that performance on Sunday. It is JDM, Jack Della Maddalena, number 1 in the power rankings, Dools. Absolutely huge week for. There's no bigger sporting news than JDM's win on Sunday.
No, I don't think many people expected it. He definitely wasn't the favourite, but he is our favourite.
He's definitely our favourite. So that's
We
the power
love him.
rankings for the week, Dools.
Love him. That wasn't okay. That wasn't your worst one.
Not my worst one.
No, obviously not your best one.
I felt bad for that curling couple that didn't make it. They only lasted 1 week in the power.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure, how often the international curling, major league curling happens. Like, I don't know if it's a weekly thing or if it's, they play every so often. I don't know how it works. I mean, you just need ice, a broom, and a giant hockey puck. So
exactly.
Can't be that difficult.
Smugglers, jump in the comments if you got any sport. There's got to be some sports that we haven't covered much.
Yep.
Surely we've got some good Aussie darts players, for example. We do it's bowling.
10-pin bowling. Yeah.
Ball bowls we dominate. So it's like netball.
What about indoor cricket?
Indoor cricket?
Yeah.
At the Melton Rec Centre?
Yeah, I was chatting to a comedian on the weekend who is a huge fan of futsal. So maybe that's a thing, yeah. Travels to watch it.
What do you mean? There's a professional futsal
apparently.
league?
Yeah, apparently.
Is it just what I'm thinking in the nets?
Yep.
Or?
No, that's not in the nets. That's indoor soccer. Futsal's it's a little bit bigger court. It's a thing.
There is the Melbourne Comedian Soccer Group. Have you ever gone down that way at Arden Street?
Adem has asked a few times if I'd be interested, but I haven't partaken yet.
I've been there twice. I've pulled a hammy in a car.
Yeah.
So,
and that's why I'm a bit gun shy about going. Is your experience there?
It is tough because you like to think you take it easy, but you're probably. I'd imagine you're like me, a bit of white line fever. You can't just not go 100%.
I play to win.
Yeah, exactly.
Win or to hurt.
But yes, Smugglers feedback. What sports aren't we covering? Who aren't we covering? Are there people that we've left out of the top 10 that should be in there? Like should Sam Kerr be in there? She had her baby this week. What's Travis Bazana doing in the minor leagues of baseball? Min Woo Lee, where's she at?
Yeah.
Is that him? Min Woo Lee. There's 2 Mins. Who's the other Min? Do you remember the other Min?
Max.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it. That's the power rankings. What else have you got? Anything else you want to go through, Dools?
What do you got on this week?
This week, I'm absolutely loaded. Tonight, I'm going to the grand opening of the Mount Isa Comedy Club.
Maybe Mount Isa. Mount Isa's in Queensland, I think.
I'm definitely not going to Queensland. Mount Isa Comedy Club up sort of Franga way. So sounds like we've got a full house tonight, which is pretty good.
Cool.
For a Tuesday night. So I got that. Tomorrow I'll be doing comedy roulette at whatever the place is, formerly Loop Bar. What's it? Theory Bar. So I'll be doing that. That'll be fun. Thursday night, I am doing a gig as well. Stay tuned for that.
Yep.
I think it's a good. Oh no, I'm back at Nord Bar.
Oh, I'll be there too. Yep.
Oh, you there on Thursday? Oh, and then we've got another doubleheader because we'll be in Friday at the Nash. Did you hear about how the Nash went?
I heard it went off.
It went off. So very excited to get up there for show number 2. So that's comedy at the Nash. Friday night comedy at the National Hotel in Geelong. Geelong, one of my favourite places to perform. I'm backing you in for 2025 Geelong Comedian of the Year as well, Jules, because I know you want that. I know you want that title.
Need that title.
And then Saturday night, I believe I'm at Bard's Apothecary. So,
cool. What gig's that one? Yep, just a gig.
Just a gig. Blowout comedy. So I don't know.
Oh, yep.
It's a gig. It's a gig. Very, very fun venue. I do like that venue.
Good venue.
That's me. What about you?
I got a corporate tonight. So, yep. it'll be good. Can't go though. And then I'm just sort of got a few bits and pieces. I'll be in Nord. I think I'm closing the show. I don't know. But I'll be at Nord in Preston at Nord Bar on Thursday the 15th, on Friday the 16th as well with Stevie B. I got the MC duties hosting the show.
You MCing the Nash?
I'm MCing Friday the 16th at the National Hotel in Geelong. Greg Fleet, the icon,
Love Fleeting,
is headlining that show there. So that'll be fun. And then Saturday, I've got a Bucks party. So
do you?
It'll be.
Are you performing, or are you just got to make?
No, I'm just attending, not performing.
Okay.
Yeah. I have been
What's
asked.
the plans for the Bucks?
I think I'm not a big drinker, and I think it's going to be like brewery, like very beer focused. So I think I'm just going to gauge it out a little bit, stay for a bit, and then hit the Frog and Toad after that. But the next couple of weeks are pretty big. I've got a big May, and then June I'll just ease up a little bit. So
I got a very big June. I got lots of gigs in June. Looking pretty good. So excited for that, Dools.
Yes, that's it.
That's it. That's the show. Thank you so much, Smugglers. See you all next week.